you spiritual? Well, of course you are. In this video, I can prove it. Everyone is spiritual. Spirituality is the single greatest superpower that we have to create a life that's harmonious and beautiful. Why is it that so many people are afraid to own up to the fact that they are spiritual? Spirituality is something that is greatly misunderstood. It is misused and wasted. It is your superpower in this world to create a life that is exceptional. My name is Lemuria Lamsai with Sci Life, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about what spirituality is not, what it is, how it can destroy your life, and the great exceptional power and pleasure that you can get from it. It's time that everyone have the sublime experience of owning their spirituality and creating peace, purpose, pleasure, and prosperity in their own lives. And with this video, I hope to help to connect you with that. So let's get into it. What spirituality is not. First and foremost, if you do a Google search, you're going to look up images of spirituality or spirit. You're going to find things like ghosts and some hot chick on the edge of a mountain with her hands like this in some sort of stupid yogic position. Or you're going to see some Buddhist meditating in a synagogue, or excuse me, in a shrine, not a synagogue, but a shrine. Or you're going to see some people in church with their hands folded and all this stuff. And that tends to give us an image of spirituality that's really disconnected from regular everyday life. And with this video, I want to help to open that up, because spirituality is so much more simple than that, and it's also so much more connected to the essence of what we actually are. So spirituality is not woo-woo, it's not being irrational, it's not religiousness or religiosity, it is not Christianity or meditation or Hinduism or Buddhism or Islam or paganism. It is so much deeper than that. Now, those things are expressions of spirituality and maybe systematized versions of it, but that's not spirituality. Spirituality is something different. So with all of that said, spirituality is not a belief in God. It's not a form of faith. A belief in God is a belief in God. That's exactly what it is. All right? Faith is faith. It's not spirituality. Spirituality is very different. So we can get right into what is spirituality. The word spirit is related to the word for wind or breath or air or breathing. Spirituality is coming from the Latin word spiritualis. It pertains to the animating principle in animals and humans and some forms of plant life. Spirituality is a really fundamental part of living, existing. If you can feel, if you can think, if you can breathe, if you can recognize that you exist, you are spiritual. Let's get to a clear definition of what it is. Spirit and spirituality is an awareness, an acknowledgement of an unseen, influencing thing in life. So what does breath or wind and air and an animating principle in animals and humans have in common? So if spirit literally refers to wind or air or breath, and it figuratively refers to an animating principle that propels all living things, then what do these two things have in common? Spirit is basically an unseen influencer that propels and sustains life. Think of something that is an unseen influencer that sustains and propels you. I'm going to give you an answer. You don't have to believe me, but we'll go along with it. Meaning, purpose, and connection. These are three things that are unseen, and yet they propel and sustain us. They maintain and perpetuate our existence. Spirituality has been co-opted by the conventional religious system. It's led to our next topic, which is the problem with spirituality. So if you are an atheist or you're an agnostic and you are living your life and saying, hey, I'm not spiritual, you're basically saying, I don't have a sense of meaning, purpose, or connection to the life around me. I don't have the ability to breathe. I'm not breathing. I'm not alive. And so why is this problematic? Why is it so important for you to acknowledge that you're spiritual?
Acknowledging your spirituality as a non-religious individual adds the diversity of spiritual experience, and it allows you to harness this superpower that exists within you that might have been misused or wasted when you were in the conventional religious setting. So your spirituality is your link to an exceptional life. It aligns you with who you truly are. It also topples the hegemony of faith communities that were once held over individuals in their spiritual path. It's time we become accountable and responsible for our own spirituality again.
It's led to so many people outsourcing their individual experience to organizations and people. This leads to spiritual abuse, which is when an organization or an individual derives benefit from your detriment and your obeisance in a spiritual relationship. So many religious institutions and faith communities do this. And so you have all of these casualties of religious warfare, spiritual warfare in a mostly peaceful society that are living with depression, anxiety, and suicidal thoughts and wanting to get, because they don't have a connection to what spirituality is for them. So with that said, there is a great sense of irresponsibility and lack of accountability because people are outsourcing their sense of meaning, purpose, and connection in life to organizations and to individuals that are not themselves. It's time that we start owning our own spirituality. So, what is spirituality for you and how can it help you live an enriched form of life? We need to come out of the closet as a society, as individuals, and start owning our own spirituality so that we can benefit from the sublime harmony and delightful composure that comes from knowing that who I am in the world and what I am in the world matters.
So think about what helps you to tap into meaning and purpose in life while enriching your sense of connection and sacredness. And what I mean by sacredness is think back to when you were a little kid, when there was something that you shared with people you loved or with dear friends before you were under the prying eyes of a desperate and depressing church kind of situation, before you were under the control of some sort of priest or pastor or imam or whatever. Back when life was still kind of magical, what was it that gave you a sense of delightful composure and ease?
So with that said, how can your spirituality enrich and enhance your own life? Well, it's a sense. So let's think of it this way. Spirituality is the sacred connection, meaning, and purpose that we have in life. Then it is something that we have set aside for our own selves.
When it's something that we've set aside for ourselves, it doesn't always have to be in the realm of religion. Think of what allows you to experience meaning, purpose, and a sense of connection in a very profound way. It could be gardening, sexuality, your sexual life. It could be your work life, business. There are a lot of different ways that we can experience that state of spirituality. Maybe you express and experience your spirituality by spending time with a lover or with friends or alone.
Whether it be books or Star Wars or Jesus, it is something that we set aside, that we take time for, that enhances who we are. And what if you could build a spiritual practice, a practice where every day you religiously honored your sense of meaning, purpose, and connection? Imagine if you could experience the pleasure, the peace, the power, the purpose, and the joy in life without sacrificing who you truly are and what you authentically love. Imagine if you could derive a deep sense of meaning, purpose, and connection from your own spirituality that didn't require you to meditate unusually, eat weird, nasty foods, or sit inside a stale building with a bunch of knuckleheads and pray to a guy that you really can't see. You can have that. You can create that. You can do that. And with Psy Life, I have a way of helping people find that out for themselves. Now, my method does not incorporate any of the moralistic or any of the other stuff. I am focused specifically on helping you find your path to spirituality that works for you. Now, if you're interested in that, if you're ready for that, click the link below. Set up an epiphany session, and we'll find out what spirituality is for you. With all of that said, I'm going to get going because this video is long enough.